Chosen one. Have you ever paused and asked yourself, why don't I feel the same as I once did? Why does my sex drive seem to have vanished or is no longer there the way it used to be? Many people might panic at this question, feeling discomfort, confusion, or even loss. It's natural for the world to make us think that our physical urges are a sign of health, vitality, or even success. But what if I told you that the change you're feeling is not a curse at all? What if it is in fact a divine intervention? Yes, you heard me right. The shift you're experiencing is not something that's wrong with you. It's actually a sign that something is deeply right. An invitation to something sacred and transformative that few ever get to witness. You are being spiritually recalibrated, and this process is not random. You didn't stumble across this video by chance. No, chosen one, you were led here for a reason. This message is for you. It's a divine sign that aligns with your soul's frequency. And if you're hearing these words now, it means your journey has been guided in ways others may never understand. You've felt different for a long time. The things that used to captivate you, intimacy, lust, even attraction, no longer resonate in the same way. You've always known deep down that your purpose is different, and now this shift in your desires is only reaffirming what you've always felt. This isn't just about losing physical attraction or the cravings of the flesh. It's about being elevated to a higher plane spiritually and energetically. The desires that once shaped your world are being quieted so you can tune into something more significant, God's calling for your life. It's not a lost chosen one. It's a transformation. You see, when God calls someone to a higher purpose, He often begins by separating them from the distractions of the world. For you, this divine shift may look like a decrease in desires that once seemed natural and important. But in reality, this is the divine hand gently guiding you away from the distractions that once pulled you into the flesh toward a higher, more spiritual alignment. What you're experiencing isn't a curse. It's God's divine recalibration, an elevation that will lead you to your true purpose. This is not the work of the body. No, chosen one, your flesh is simply obeying the transformation of your spirit. God is calling you away from worldly noise to a place of inner peace and divine purpose. You were not created to chase fleeting desires or be consumed by earthly pleasures. You were created for something higher, something eternal. This shift in your sex drive is the first step in that awakening. And as you begin to embrace this new way of being, you'll find that the emptiness you once felt will transform into clarity, peace, and divine focus. The rest of the world may not understand it, but you, chosen one, are beginning to see the truth. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Your transformation has already begun. And in the next sections, we'll explore the deeper reasons why God has chosen to remove your desire from this world and shift you into a higher calling. This is not just about the physical world. It's about your spiritual evolution. Stay with me and let's dive deeper into this journey of divine transformation. Chosen one, now that you've begun to understand the divine shift happening within you, it's time to delve deeper into the first profound reason why God has taken away your sex drive. As we've already discussed, this shift isn't a random event, nor is it a physical dysfunction. It's a purposeful, intentional redirection by God, who is preparing you for something far greater than what the world has to offer. And the first reason behind this transformation is simple yet incredibly powerful. God is shifting your focus toward your higher calling. You might be asking, what does my sex drive have to do with my calling? And that's a valid question, but let me explain. Sexual energy is one of the most powerful forces in the human body. It's not just a biological function, it's a driving force. Sexual desire motivates actions, influences relationships, and shapes life's decisions. It is a force that, when harnessed, can channel energy toward creation, connection, and intimacy. But when left unchecked, it can easily become a distraction, a pull toward temporary pleasure that ultimately leads to emptiness. For most of your life, you were likely led by these desires, which in turn shaped the choices you made and the path you walked. The world has a way of encouraging this, promoting the idea that the pursuit of pleasure, physical connection, and validation is the ultimate purpose of life. Society pushes you to chase these fleeting moments of satisfaction, never telling you that they come at a price: your spiritual peace, your clarity, your connection to God. But now, chosen one, you've entered a divine phase, a season where your desires are no longer aligned with worldly pursuits. God is calling you to something much greater. He's redirecting your energy away from the distractions of the flesh and into the higher purpose He's prepared for you. This shift in your sex drive is not random. It's the spiritual surgery necessary for you to step into your destiny. This is not to say that sexual desire is inherently bad. In its divine context within marriage and under God's guidance, it is a beautiful and powerful force. But God knows that the intensity of this drive, when not aligned with His purpose, can lead you astray. It can cloud your judgment, distract you from your mission, and tie you to people, situations, and emotions that aren't part of His divine plan for you. That's why He's taking it away for a season at least. This is not punishment. It's divine redirection. Imagine for a moment that you're on a journey. You're walking through life, and your body, like your compass, is constantly drawn toward the desires of the world. Pleasure, intimacy, connection. These things are natural, and in the right context can be fulfilling. But when they become the driving force in your life, they can act like a heavy anchor, preventing you from moving forward on your path. Now God has taken that anchor away. It's like being given a new compass, one that is no longer focused on the fleeting pleasures of the world, but on the higher calling He has set before you. You're no longer walking down the same road as everyone else, pursuing what the world has told you to chase. Instead, God has placed you on a higher path, one that requires your full attention, your full devotion. And here's the thing. When God calls someone to their higher purpose, that person has to be fully awake, completely alert, completely focused. Sexual energy, when used improperly, can cloud that clarity. That's why God is clearing the air. He's allowing your focus to shift away from the physical and toward the divine. As your sex drive fades, what you're experiencing is a reordering of your priorities. Your desires are no longer about chasing fleeting connections. They're about chasing purpose. You may have noticed this already. What once captivated your attention, romantic connections, intimacy, pleasure, no longer holds the same significance. Instead, you crave something deeper: peace, clarity, connection with God. This is the start of a beautiful transformation. Your higher calling is unfolding, and God is preparing you for it. He's taking your attention off the world's distractions so that you can see the divine purpose He's been nurturing in you all along. God wants you to understand that you're not just here to exist. You're here to fulfill a mission, and that mission requires complete clarity and focus. To walk in your higher calling, you need a clean vessel, one that is not weighed down by distractions, by worldly cravings, by emotional attachments that lead you astray. That's why God is removing the distractions. He's clearing your vessel so that you can hear His voice clearly, feel His guidance deeply, and move forward in alignment with His plan. This process is not easy, and it may feel strange at first, but trust me. Chosen one, this is the path to spiritual maturity. The desires that once pulled you will no longer control you. Instead, your focus will be honed in on what matters most, your purpose. At this stage, you might be asking yourself, what exactly is my higher calling? I can't give you a one-size-fits-all answer, chosen one, because that's something only you and God can fully understand. But I can tell you this: God's plan for you is bigger than anything you could have imagined on your own. It's bigger than anything the world has to offer. Your higher calling is tied to your unique gifts, your spiritual purpose, and your divine mission. It's a calling that is designed for only you to fulfill, and the desires of the flesh were holding you back from it. That's why God had to step in. Now, as you move forward in this transformation, your energy will shift. No longer will it be directed towards seeking intimacy for the sake of validation or pleasure. Instead, it will be directed toward seeking God, seeking His guidance, seeking His kingdom. And as you do, you'll find that your life begins to align more and more with His purpose. The distractions will fade and your heart will be open to the fullness of His calling. You might feel lost at times, wondering if you'll ever feel the same way you once did. But I'm here to tell you, chosen one, that this is a necessary part of the process. The old version of you, the one who was driven by worldly desires, is fading away. And in its place, a new version of you is emerging, one that is fully aligned with God's plan. This is a good thing. This is the spiritual rebirth that has been waiting for you. Remember, your sex drive is not being taken away because something is wrong with you. It's being removed because something greater is ahead. You are being called to a higher purpose. And when God calls someone to a higher purpose, He requires that they be fully focused, fully committed, and fully aligned with His will. This is your season of spiritual awakening, chosen one. Embrace it. Chosen one, now that we've explored how God is shifting your focus toward your higher calling, let's dive into the second divine reason why your sex drive has been removed. This reason, while deeply spiritual, is perhaps one of the most profound and necessary aspects of your transformation. God is cleansing you from worldly attachments. The world has a way of attaching us to things that on the surface seem harmless, but in reality weigh down our spirits and prevent us from stepping into our true purpose. These attachments can take many forms. Relationships that pull us away from our divine calling, addictions to substances or behaviors, and perhaps most notably, our obsession with physical pleasure. Lust and desire, when unchecked, bind us to the temporal world, drawing us away from the eternal truths that God wants us to understand. What's happening to you, chosen one, is not a punishment, it's a purification. The removal of your sex drive is God's way of helping you detach from the world's hold on your life. But this process of purification is not always easy. It may feel like you've lost something vital, something that once defined your identity. But in truth, God is simply removing the distractions, allowing your spirit to become more attuned to His voice. Take a moment to think about how much of your life has been shaped by your desires. How many of your decisions, your relationships, your goals, your actions have been driven by the pursuit of pleasure or validation from others? The world tells us that we need to chase after physical satisfaction, to feel alive, to feel connected, to feel valued. But in the pursuit of these fleeting pleasures, we often lose sight of what truly matters, our connection with God and our divine purpose. God, in His love for you, knows that you cannot fulfill your higher calling while still bound to the world's distractions. The energy that once flowed into lustful desires, fleeting attractions, and worldly relationships is now being redirected to something far more profound, your relationship with God and your soul's calling. The process of detachment, while challenging, is necessary for your spiritual growth. Think about it this way: when a goldsmith purifies gold, he must first melt it down in a furnace to separate the impurities from the precious metal. The heat is intense and the process is painful, but the result is worth it. The gold that emerges is pure, refined, and ready to be shaped into something beautiful. Similarly, God is purifying you through this process of cleansing, removing the attachments that have kept you tied to the world and your fleshly desires. This period of purification is not about making you less human, chosen one, it's about making you more divine. The world's desires are fleeting, but your calling is eternal. The more you let go of the things that once satisfied your flesh, the more space you make for the Holy Spirit to dwell within you. Your desires are being transformed from earthly cravings into heavenly longings. Where once you sought pleasure in fleeting moments, now you will find peace in the presence of God. Where once you sought intimacy in relationships, now you will find connection with your Creator. You may feel lonely at times, as if you are missing something that everyone else seems to have. But that feeling is a sign that you are being set apart. God is calling you to a higher level of intimacy, a kind of intimacy that goes beyond the physical and into the spiritual. This is not a loss. It is a gain. You are being invited into a deeper relationship with God, one that will fill you in ways that earthly pleasures never could. It's important to understand that the process of detachment is not something you can force. It's not about trying to suppress your desires or denying yourself pleasure out of guilt or shame. It's about allowing God to remove what is unnecessary and to purify your heart. It's about surrendering to His will and trusting that He is leading you to something better, something far greater than anything the world could offer. During this purification, you may experience moments of confusion. You may wonder why you no longer feel the desire for connection or intimacy. You may even question if something is wrong with you if you're broken. But I want you to hear me clearly, chosen one. Nothing is wrong with you. Everything is happening as it should. God is not punishing you. He is refining you. This process of purification can be uncomfortable, and you may find yourself longing for the old ways of living. You may feel a sense of emptiness where desire once lived. But instead of mourning this loss, I encourage you to celebrate it. Celebrate the fact that you are being stripped of everything that is not of God. Celebrate the fact that you are being made new, purified, and prepared for a greater calling. You are not the same person you were before. God is making you into something stronger, something purer, something more powerful. And while the world may try to convince you that you're missing out, you know in your spirit that this transformation is exactly what you need. You are being cleansed from the inside out, chosen one, and that cleansing is preparing you for the incredible mission God has for you. As you move forward in this process, remember that detachment is not about removing good things from your life. It's about removing the distractions that keep you from God. This season of purification is about learning to live without the constant pull of desire, to walk in the stillness of God's presence. In this stillness, you will find a deeper connection with Him. In this silence, you will hear His voice more clearly than ever before. God's love for you is so deep that He is willing to strip away the things that have kept you from Him. He is not abandoning you. He is drawing you closer to Himself. The energy that once flowed toward earthly pleasures is now being redirected toward your divine purpose. And in that purpose, you will find fulfillment that far surpasses anything the world can offer. So when the feelings of longing arise, chosen one, don't resist them. Don't try to force your desires back into place. Instead, lean into God. Surrender to His will and allow Him to fill the spaces that once craved physical intimacy. Let Him be your peace, your joy, and your satisfaction. Let Him show you that true fulfillment comes from knowing Him, from walking in your divine purpose, and from being aligned with His will. You are being cleansed, chosen one, and though the process may be challenging, it is for your good. God is preparing you for something greater than you could ever imagine. So trust in His process. Trust that every step you take toward detachment is a step closer to your higher calling. Trust that every moment of purification is leading you to the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Chosen one. We've already explored how God is shifting your focus toward your higher calling and cleansing you from worldly attachments. Now let's dive deeper into the third powerful reason why God has chosen to take away your sex drive. God is initiating you into divine celibacy. This is a crucial and sacred phase in your spiritual journey, one that will require your complete surrender and trust in His perfect timing. Divine celibacy is not a punishment as the world might lead you to believe. It's not a rule or commandment that has been forced upon you. Instead, it is a divine initiation, a sacred process through which God is preparing you for something far greater. This period of celibacy is not about suppression or abstinence because of shame or guilt. It's a deeply spiritual practice designed to purify you, to protect your energy, and to help you align fully with your divine purpose. At this moment in your life, God is calling you to a deeper level of spiritual commitment. He is asking you to let go of the physical cravings and desires that have defined your life up until now. But understand this, chosen one, this is not an erasure of your sexuality. Rather, it's an elevation. Your sexual energy is being transmuted, redirected, and elevated to a higher purpose. The desire that once drove you to seek physical connection is now being used to propel you toward a connection with the divine, with your higher self, and with your sacred calling. This divine celibacy is an invitation into the sacred. God is calling you to walk in purity and to hold your energy in a way that few others can understand. It's a time where the noise of the world is being silenced, and God is inviting you into a quiet, focused, and deeply spiritual intimacy, one that is not rooted in the flesh but in the spirit. It's a time for you to deepen your relationship with God, to strengthen your connection with the divine, and to prepare for the calling He has placed on your life. But this isn't just about the absence of sex. Divine celibacy is about the presence of something greater, something more powerful. God is protecting you during this time, shielding your spirit from distractions, from physical attachments that could cloud your judgment and derail you from your purpose. Celibacy in this sacred sense is an act of divine protection. It's a shield around your soul, keeping you from the emotional and spiritual messes that can occur when physical desires are allowed to dominate. In the world, celibacy is often misunderstood. People may look at you and question why you're not engaging in the same relationships, the same pursuits, the same connections that others are. They may try to convince you that something is wrong or that you're missing out on life. But what they fail to understand is that you're not missing anything at all. You're actually gaining something precious, something most people will never experience: divine alignment. This season of celibacy is not a void. It's a period of sacred preparation. God is setting you apart for something extraordinary. In the same way that a monk or a mystic might go into seclusion to commune with God, you are being invited to a sacred space of solitude. Here you can hear His voice more clearly. You can tune into the stillness and find peace that the world can never offer. In this time, your spiritual senses are heightened, and God is revealing His plans for you in a deeper way. You may feel strange, even confused, as your physical desires fade. You may wonder if something is wrong with you, but I assure you, chosen one, nothing is wrong. This is a time of divine alignment. Your body is simply adjusting to the higher calling that is being birthed within you. The energy that once drove you toward worldly connections is now being redirected toward your soul's purpose. And as you release the old attachments, you make room for the sacred work that God is doing in you. God has a purpose for your life, chosen one, and it is bigger than you can imagine. But to fulfill that purpose, you must be fully dedicated. Divine celibacy allows you to step into a deeper level of spiritual power and wisdom. It is a time for you to focus on the work God has given you without distraction, without the noise of the world pulling you away from your divine mission. When you embrace this period of celibacy, you are giving yourself fully to God. You are saying, "I trust you, Lord, and I surrender my desires to you so that I can fulfill the purpose you have called me to." But this is not just a time of absence. It is a time of growth. You are being initiated into a higher level of spiritual maturity, chosen one. When God calls you to celibacy, He is calling you to grow beyond the physical, to become more attuned to the spiritual. This period of celibacy is like a cocoon where you are being transformed. You are shedding old desires, old patterns, and old ways of thinking in order to emerge as a more powerful vessel for God's work. In this sacred period, your body is being trained to listen to the Spirit, to follow the divine guidance that is leading you toward your purpose. The desires that once controlled you are being quieted so that you can hear God's voice more clearly. You are being refined, purified, and set apart for something extraordinary. You are becoming a vessel for divine light, wisdom, and power. I know that this period may feel strange at times, and you may struggle with feelings of loneliness or confusion. But remember, chosen one, this is not a time of punishment or isolation. It is a time of divine preparation. God is shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for a purpose that is far greater than anything the world can offer. The path you are walking is sacred, and you are being initiated into something holy, something powerful, something eternal. God is calling you to be set apart, to live in a way that reflects His holiness. This divine celibacy is not just about abstinence, it's about a deeper connection with God, a purer form of intimacy, and a more powerful alignment with your divine calling. Through this sacred season, God is teaching you how to live with greater purpose, greater clarity, and greater focus. He is refining your spirit and empowering you to fulfill the mission He has placed on your life. Embrace this season of divine celibacy, chosen one for it, is a time of sacred growth and transformation. Do not mourn the absence of desire. Instead, celebrate the space you are creating for God to move in your life. Know that through this process, you are becoming more aligned with your true self, more attuned to your purpose, and more prepared for the powerful work that lies ahead. Chosen one, now that we've delved into the powerful initiation of divine celibacy, it's time to explore the fifth reason why God has taken away your sex drive. He is elevating your spiritual frequency. This process is not just about detaching from the physical world or redirecting your desires. It's about a profound transformation that raises your vibrational frequency to align with the divine purpose He has for you. You may have already begun to notice that something within you is changing on a deeper level. What once felt important, physical desires, fleeting pleasures, and external validation is now being overshadowed by something much more significant, your connection to the divine. This shift is a sign that God is not only removing distractions from your life, but also fine-tuning your ability to hear His voice, feel His guidance, and walk in alignment with His will. In the spiritual realm, everything has a frequency, an energetic vibration that determines the alignment of your body, mind, and spirit. When you are in harmony with your higher self and your divine purpose, your frequency aligns with that of the divine. But when your attention is divided by worldly desires and distractions, your frequency lowers, making it harder to receive divine insight and guidance. God, in His wisdom, is elevating your spiritual frequency so that you can become a vessel for His purpose on earth. As He takes away the distractions of the flesh, He is increasing your ability to perceive and respond to the divine. This is not just about living a more holy life. It's about stepping into a new realm of spiritual awareness, clarity, and power. God is calling you to operate at a higher level of spiritual sensitivity and wisdom. And this elevation requires that your focus be redirected away from worldly pleasures and toward your divine purpose. Now you may be wondering, what does it mean to elevate my spiritual frequency? It's more than just an abstract idea. It's about becoming more attuned to the divine presence in your life. It's about raising your energy so that you can receive more of God's wisdom, insight, and power. The higher your frequency, the more aligned you become with God's will, and the more effectively you can carry out His purpose on earth. One of the key ways that God elevates your frequency is by refining your desires. The physical cravings you once had, desires for intimacy, physical pleasure, and validation, are being transformed into spiritual longings for peace, clarity, understanding, and connection with God. These desires are not disappearing, they are being transmuted into a higher form of energy. Instead of seeking satisfaction from the physical world, you are now being called to seek fulfillment from the spiritual realm. Think of it like tuning a musical instrument. When an instrument is out of tune, it sounds dissonant, harsh, and uncomfortable. But when it is tuned correctly, the sound is harmonious, resonating beautifully with the surrounding atmosphere. Your spiritual frequency is similar. When your desires are not aligned with God's will, your energy feels scattered and dissonant. But when you surrender those desires and align them with God's plan for your life, your energy becomes harmonious, flowing smoothly with the divine. This spiritual elevation doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of refinement and purification that takes time. God is slowly removing the distractions that once pulled you away from Him, clearing the path for you to walk more closely with Him. As your frequency rises, you will begin to experience a greater sense of clarity and spiritual awareness. You will notice that the things that once seemed important, relationships, status, material possessions, no longer hold the same value. Instead, you will find peace in solitude, clarity in stillness, and joy in aligning your life with God's purpose. One of the most beautiful aspects of this spiritual elevation is that it connects you more deeply with your higher self. When your frequency rises, you begin to step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You become more aligned with your soul's purpose and more in tune with your divine gifts. Your intuition becomes sharper, your prayers become more powerful, and your connection with God deepens. This elevation is not just a personal transformation, it is an awakening to your true identity as a child of God, a vessel for His purpose. But how does this elevation of your spiritual frequency relate to the removal of your sex drive? The answer lies in the energy that once flowed toward desire. God is redirecting that energy towards something higher. When your body's cravings are quieted, you make room for spiritual energy to flow through you. The energy that once fueled lust and physical longing is now being transformed into the energy of divine purpose, clarity, and spiritual power. This process is not about suppressing your desires or denying your humanity. It's about learning how to direct your energy toward what truly matters, your connection with God, your divine calling, and the fulfillment of your spiritual mission. As your frequency rises, you will begin to notice that you are more in tune with the things that truly matter, like peace, love, purpose, and spiritual growth. The distractions of the world will lose their hold on you, and you will become more focused on the eternal truths that God has placed within you. You may experience some discomfort during this transition. As your frequency rises, your body may resist the change. You might feel restless, disconnected, or even frustrated at times. This is all part of the process. Your old self, the version of you that was driven by the cravings of the flesh, is dying away, and a new version of you is being born. But do not be afraid. This is a sacred process, and it is leading you towards something far greater than anything the world can offer. As you continue to surrender your desires to God and align your life with His will, your spiritual frequency will continue to rise. You will begin to experience a greater sense of purpose, peace, and clarity. You will feel more connected to God and more aligned with your divine mission. This elevation will empower you to step into your calling with confidence, knowing that you are living in alignment with God's plan for your life. And here's the most beautiful part of this transformation. As your frequency rises, you will begin to radiate that divine energy to others. Your presence will become more powerful. Your words will carry more weight, and your actions will reflect God's love and purpose in the world. People will be drawn to your energy, and you will begin to walk in a level of spiritual authority that allows you to impact the world around you. This is the result of your spiritual elevation. So, chosen one, embrace this process of elevation. Trust that God is guiding you towards something far greater than you can imagine. The removal of your sex drive is not a loss. It is a divine redirection, an elevation of your spiritual frequency that is preparing you for your higher calling. Allow God to continue refining you, and know that with every step you take, you are becoming more aligned with the divine purpose He has placed on your life. Your frequency is rising, chosen one, and with it, you are stepping into a new level of spiritual power, clarity, and purpose. Embrace this transformation, for it is leading you to something far more beautiful and eternal than anything the world could ever offer. Chosen one, as we continue our journey through the profound reasons behind the divine removal of your sex drive, we arrive at a deeply important aspect of your spiritual transformation. God is protecting you from soul ties and spiritual contamination. This is perhaps one of the most crucial reasons why God has chosen this path for you. As you become more attuned to the divine purpose for your life, God's protection extends not only to your physical body, but to your spiritual essence. To understand this, we must first explore what soul ties are and why they can be so detrimental to your spiritual health. A soul tie is a deep spiritual connection that is formed between two people, often through intimate relationships. When we enter into relationships, whether they are romantic, physical, or emotional, we exchange energy, and the deeper the connection, the stronger the bond. This bond is more than just emotional. It's spiritual, affecting the very essence of who we are. In healthy, committed relationships, soul ties can be a powerful and positive force. However, when formed outside of divine alignment, these soul ties can become sources of spiritual contamination, emotional turmoil, and energetic imbalance. Now let's consider the nature of spiritual contamination. The energy we share with others, especially in intimate relationships, is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. Every person you connect with leaves an imprint on your soul, whether they're aware of it or not. This exchange of energy can be positive, where love, peace, and light are shared, or it can be negative, where hurt, trauma, and darkness are transferred. Many people walk through life carrying the remnants of unhealthy soul ties, often without realizing how much these connections are draining them. Past relationships, emotional wounds, and unresolved attachments can pull on your energy, affecting your ability to walk in alignment with your divine purpose. Some people carry the energy of past lovers, friends, or even family members, and these energetic imprints can weigh heavily on the spirit, keeping them bound to the past and preventing them from stepping fully into the future. This is why God is removing your sex drive during this divine recalibration. By quieting your fleshly desires, God is preventing you from forming new old ties that could distract you or divert your energy. He is also protecting you from the residual energy of past connections that may still linger, holding you back from embracing your higher calling. You may not realize how much of your spiritual energy has been tied up in previous relationships or attachments. Some of those connections may have been with people who didn't align with your divine purpose. Some of them may have been physically or emotionally draining. In many cases, these people might have been unaware of the impact they had on your energy, but the exchange took place nonetheless. And for someone as spiritually sensitive as you, those imprints can linger long after the relationship ends. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows that you cannot fulfill your divine mission while still carrying the burdens of these soul ties. This is why He is protecting you from further contamination. As your sex drive fades, you may find that your need for emotional or physical connection also wanes. The craving for validation or intimacy that once dominated your thoughts will slowly fade into the background as your focus shifts to your divine purpose. This is not a loss, but a gain. God is guarding your spirit, protecting you from attachments that would drain your energy and distract you from your mission. It's important to recognize that God's protection during this time goes far beyond just preventing physical intimacy. He is also shielding you from the emotional and spiritual residue of past relationships, ensuring that you don't take on new energetic burdens that could hinder your progress. He is clearing away old attachments, toxic energy, and past wounds, allowing your spirit to become purified and realigned with His will. During this time of divine celibacy, you are being given the opportunity to rebuild your spiritual foundation. By removing the distractions of the flesh, God is helping you focus on your spiritual healing and growth. This is your time to be fully present with yourself and with God, to reconnect with your true self without the interference of external forces. You may also begin to notice that certain people who once held your attention or attracted you no longer do so. Those who once seemed appealing or captivating may now seem distant or unimportant. This shift is a clear sign that God is refining your discernment. As your frequency rises, you will become more attuned to the energy of others. You will begin to sense the true nature of those around you, whether they are spiritually aligned with your purpose or whether their energy is pulling you away from your calling. This heightened sensitivity to energy is not something to fear, chosen one. It is a divine gift. You are learning to discern between what is of God and what is not. Your soul is becoming more sensitive to the vibrations of the people you encounter, allowing you to avoid the contamination of negative energy and to protect your spiritual space. As you walk this path, you will naturally be drawn to people who are in alignment with your divine calling, those who share your purpose, your energy, and your spirit. You will be able to discern true connections from distractions, and you will no longer waste your energy on relationships that do not serve your higher purpose. As your discernment grows, you will also become more protective of your energy. You will realize that not every interaction is worth your attention, and not every person deserves to enter your spiritual space. You will learn the importance of boundaries, not just physical ones, but emotional and spiritual ones as well. This protection is not about shutting yourself off from others, but rather about preserving your energy for the divine work God has called you to do. It's important to note that this period of celibacy is not forever. As God continues to purify and protect you, He will eventually lead you into a season of spiritual union. But this union will not be based on physical attraction or emotional need. Instead, it will be based on divine alignment. The person God has for you will be someone who shares your mission, your frequency, and your purpose. You will not be bound by the soul ties of the past, but will instead experience a deep spiritual connection that is rooted in the divine. During this time of cleansing, you may feel loneliness or a sense of longing, but these feelings are simply part of the process. They are part of the divine purification that is happening within you. As your soul is cleansed, you are being made ready for the kind of love and connection that God has designed for you, a love that transcends the physical and is based on spiritual alignment. God is not only protecting you from toxic connections, but He is also teaching you how to protect yourself spiritually. The lessons you are learning now about boundaries, discernment, and self-preservation are essential for your future. They are preparing you to carry the kind of spiritual power that can impact the world. You are being refined into a vessel of light, one that can hold divine energy without being consumed by it. So, chosen one, embrace this process. Know that God is protecting you from the contamination of negative energy and is shielding you from soul ties that would hinder your progress. This is a sacred time of purification, a time to strengthen your spiritual muscles and align more fully with your divine calling. You are not losing anything. You are gaining everything. As you continue to surrender to God's protection and guidance, you will find that your spiritual clarity and discernment will increase. You will be able to see through the distractions and illusions of the world, and your path will become clearer. God is guarding your spirit, keeping you safe from the spiritual contamination of the world, and preparing you to walk in your divine purpose. Chosen one, as you have been walking through this profound transformation, it's time to understand the deeper spiritual significance of the next phase in your divine journey. The wilderness phase. This phase, though often misunderstood, is a sacred and necessary part of your spiritual refinement. The wilderness, in a spiritual sense, is a place of isolation, purification, and preparation. It is where God does His deepest and most significant work in you. And while it may feel like a period of dryness, separation, and confusion, it is in fact a time of divine preparation for something far greater. When we think of wilderness, we often associate it with loneliness, discomfort, and a lack of resources. But spiritually, the wilderness is a powerful place of transformation. In the Bible, many of God's chosen people, Moses, Elijah, John the Baptist, and even Jesus, spent significant time in the wilderness before stepping into their divine callings. The wilderness is not a place of abandonment. It is a place of intentional and sacred preparation. It is where God refines His servants, sharpening them for the mission ahead. You might be feeling like you are in a wilderness right now. Your desires for connection, intimacy, and physical pleasure may have faded, and you might be asking yourself why you feel so disconnected from the world. Your sex drive, once a powerful force in your life, is now quiet, and you may feel like something is missing. But I want to assure you, chosen one, that you are not missing anything. You are exactly where you need to be. This phase of detachment is part of your wilderness experience, and it is a necessary and beautiful part of your spiritual growth. In the wilderness, God is stripping away everything that is not aligned with His purpose for your life. He is removing distractions, clearing the noise, and refining you so that you can become a more powerful vessel for His divine work. The physical urges that once drove you are being silenced, not to punish you, but to create space for something far more powerful, your divine calling. You are being called out of the noise of the world and into the quiet, sacred space where God can speak to you more clearly than ever before. During this time, you may feel a sense of isolation. You may feel as though you are walking alone, disconnected from the people and things that once brought you comfort. You might find yourself craving emotional connections or longing for intimacy. But remember, this period of separation is not a punishment. It is a divine protection. God is calling you to stand apart so that He can prepare you for something greater. This wilderness phase is not about physical deprivation. It is about spiritual elevation. God is teaching you how to live with less, how to rely not on the pleasures of the flesh, but on the sustenance of His Spirit. As you give up your desires for temporary satisfaction, you are being taught to seek Him first, to rely on Him alone for fulfillment. This is a time of refining your spirit, of learning how to be filled with God's presence rather than the fleeting pleasures of the world. When God calls someone to a higher purpose, He often leads them through the wilderness to prepare them for their calling. In this time of isolation, He is teaching you the lessons you need to carry out His mission with power and authority. Just as gold must be refined in fire, so too must you be refined in the wilderness. This is where your character is shaped, where your faith is tested, and where your spiritual muscles are strengthened. It is in the wilderness that you learn to depend on God alone and trust in His timing and provision. You may feel confused during this time, wondering why everything seems to be changing. The world around you may seem to be moving on while you feel stuck, isolated, or even abandoned. But do not fear, chosen one. God is not absent. He is with you in the wilderness, refining you, teaching you, and preparing you for the divine work ahead. The wilderness is a sacred place, not a place of despair, but a place of preparation for the next season of your life. You may also feel a deep restlessness during this time. As your sex drive fades, you may experience a sense of emptiness or longing. But this feeling of emptiness is not a sign of something wrong with you. It is a sign that God is creating space within you for something greater. The cravings you once had are being replaced by a hunger for God's presence, for His wisdom, for His guidance. This restlessness is the Holy Spirit stirring within you, drawing you closer to Him, calling you to step fully into your calling. During the wilderness phase, you may also experience moments of spiritual dryness. You might feel like God is distant or that you are not hearing from Him as clearly as you once did. But know this: God is working in the silence. He is refining you in ways you cannot yet see. Just as a seed must go through a period of darkness before it can sprout and grow, so too must you endure this time of spiritual silence before you can emerge into the fullness of your purpose. This wilderness season is also a time of deep spiritual intimacy. As the world falls away and your desires are quieted, you are being called into a more profound relationship with God. This is a time of deep prayer, of listening to His voice, and of being filled with His presence. In this time of isolation, God is drawing you closer to Him. He is teaching you how to be satisfied with His presence alone, how to find fulfillment in Him rather than in the fleeting pleasures of the world. As you walk through this wilderness, you may feel discouraged at times. You may wonder when this season will end, or if you'll ever feel the same way again. But trust in God's perfect timing. This wilderness phase is not permanent. It is a temporary but necessary part of your spiritual journey. God is using this time to shape you, to refine you, and to prepare you for the incredible purpose He has for your life. When you emerge from this wilderness, you will be stronger, more focused, and more aligned with your divine purpose than ever before. The world will no longer have the same hold on you. Your desires will be redirected toward your higher calling, and you will walk with a new sense of authority and spiritual power. The wilderness is not where your story ends. It is where your true journey begins. So, chosen one, embrace this wilderness phase. Trust that God is with you, guiding you, and preparing you for something far greater. The isolation, the silence, and the sense of disconnection you may feel are all part of the divine process. You are being refined, purified, and prepared for your calling. And when this season is over, you will walk into your destiny with the power and clarity that only the wilderness can bring. Chosen one, as we journey further into this sacred transformation, we now come to a significant and beautiful aspect of your spiritual journey. God is preparing you for union beyond the physical. This divine phase is deeply profound, one that transcends the worldly understanding of relationships and intimacy. While the world often associates union with physical attraction, chemistry, or emotional fulfillment, God's divine purpose for you is a union that goes far beyond the physical realm. It's about a spiritual alignment that is rooted in divine purpose, not mere attraction. You may have already sensed that the desire for physical intimacy is no longer as strong as it once was. The longing for connection, for the rush of physical touch, for the fleeting pleasures of romance, those things may have started to feel distant, foreign even. And while the world may view this as a loss or something to be fixed, I am here to assure you, chosen one, that this is not a loss at all. Rather, it is a divine redirection, a preparation for a deeper, more profound union that is being crafted by God Himself. God, in His infinite wisdom, is calling you to a higher understanding of love and connection. The way the world defines love based on physical attraction, chemistry, or validation is not the love that God has for you. His love is pure, unconditional, and eternal. It is not based on the fleeting feelings of lust or emotional highs, but on a deep spiritual connection that transcends the physical world. This higher form of love is the union that God is preparing you for, a union that is rooted in divine purpose, mutual understanding, and spiritual alignment. This divine union is not about finding someone who fulfills your physical or emotional needs. No, chosen one. This is about finding someone who is aligned with your divine purpose, someone who walks beside you, not to complete you, but to complement you in fulfilling the mission God has set before you. It's a union that will be based on the shared desire to serve God, to walk in divine alignment, and to fulfill the calling that He has placed on both of your lives. Now you may be wondering, if my desires are fading, does that mean I will never experience intimacy again? And to that I say no. You are not being deprived of intimacy. Rather, God is refining your understanding of it. The divine intimacy that God has for you is not confined to the physical. It is a spiritual connection that is far deeper, more meaningful, and more fulfilling than anything the world could ever offer. It's a connection where you and your divine partner will be united, not just in body, but in spirit, heart, and soul. During this time of celibacy, God is teaching you to focus on this higher form of intimacy. He is helping you shift your attention from physical cravings to spiritual alignment. You may feel as though you are in a period of waiting, but do not be disheartened. God is not withholding love from you. He is preparing you for a love that will be eternal, that will be rooted in purpose, and that will bring you peace and fulfillment beyond measure. In the wilderness of divine celibacy, God is refining your heart, helping you to shed any emotional baggage, past wounds, or unhealthy attachments that could affect your future relationship. He is preparing you for the kind of love that does not demand, does not expect, and does not rely on fleshly needs. Instead, it is a love that seeks to build, to serve, to heal, and to align with God's will. It is a love that will honor both you and your partner, a love that will encourage spiritual growth and mutual support in fulfilling God's purpose for your lives. God is also working on your heart to make sure you are fully ready to recognize your divine counterpart when the time comes. Your future partner will be someone who has also undergone spiritual refinement, someone who shares your desire to serve God and fulfill your purpose together. They will not be someone who merely satisfies your physical or emotional needs, but someone who challenges you to grow spiritually. Someone who helps you walk more closely with God, and someone who complements your divine mission. While the world encourages relationships based on physical attraction or emotional highs, God is preparing you for a union that is based on spiritual alignment and shared purpose. You are not being called to settle for a relationship that is temporary or based on the physical realm. God is calling you to a love that transcends the flesh, one that is eternal, pure, and rooted in divine purpose. During this season, you might struggle with loneliness or frustration. You may wonder why it seems like love is being withheld from you, or why you no longer feel the desire for connection the way you once did. But I want to assure you, chosen one, that God is not withholding love from you. He is preparing you for a love that is far greater than anything you have known. This period of celibacy, this time of detachment from the world's desires, is simply a season of purification, a season of preparation for a union that will be more fulfilling, more meaningful, and more powerful than anything the world can offer. As you surrender your desires to God and allow Him to purify your heart, you will find that the longing you feel for connection will shift. You will no longer crave the temporary satisfaction of physical intimacy. Instead, you will crave the spiritual connection that will sustain you for a lifetime. You will crave the deep, meaningful bond that is rooted in mutual purpose, spiritual alignment, and divine love. In this period of waiting, God is teaching you how to be complete in Him. You are learning that true intimacy comes not from the physical, but from the spiritual. You are learning to be fulfilled in God's presence alone, to find peace in solitude, and to be content with His love before seeking any other. This is a sacred and beautiful lesson, chosen one, and it is preparing you to receive the divine union that God has destined for you. When the time comes, you will recognize your divine partner not by their outward appearance, but by the resonance of their spirit. You will feel an instant deep connection, a spiritual bond that goes beyond the physical. You will recognize that this person is aligned with your purpose, someone who shares your mission and desires to serve God together. This is the kind of union that God is preparing you for, a love that is rooted in purpose, not in physical attraction or fleeting pleasure. So, chosen one, trust the process. Trust that God is leading you towards something greater than what you've known. The period of celibacy, the quieting of your desires, is not a punishment. It is a preparation for a love that transcends the physical and is rooted in divine purpose. God is preparing you for a union that will bless you, empower you, and propel you toward your divine calling. When the time comes, your divine partner will be someone who has also been refined, purified, and aligned with God's purpose. Together, you will walk in spiritual unity, fulfilling the calling God has placed on your lives. Until that time comes, rest in the peace of knowing that God's love for you is eternal, and He is preparing you for something far greater than anything the world could offer. Chosen one, as we continue on this sacred journey of transformation, let us now explore the 9th reason why God has taken away your sex drive, the spiritual power in divine surrender. This concept of surrendering to God's will, especially in this time of celibacy and detachment, is not something the world often teaches. In fact, the world teaches us to fight for what we want to pursue, pleasure at any cost, and to resist anything that might cause discomfort or restriction. But in God's kingdom, surrender is not a weakness. It is a source of unparalleled strength. When God calls you to surrender something as fundamental as your sexual desires, it can feel challenging, even painful. It may seem like a loss, a sacrifice, or even an unfair trial. But what you are truly being called to is a deeper, more profound connection with God, one that transcends the physical, the emotional, and the fleeting. The power of divine surrender is not about giving up what you want. It is about receiving what God wants to give you, which is far greater than anything you could ever imagine. Divine surrender is an act of trust. It is saying, God, I trust you more than my desires. I trust that your plan for me is better than any pleasure I could pursue in the flesh. I surrender my will to your will, and I allow you to lead me into the life you have designed for me. This is not a passive surrender, chosen one. This is an active choice, a conscious decision to let go of what the world offers and to hold on to what God has for you. It is not about weakness or passivity. It is about choosing God's higher way over the lower impulses of the flesh. When you surrender your sexual energy to God, you are doing more than just abstaining from physical intimacy. You are opening yourself up to a spiritual power that can't be found in earthly pursuits. Your surrender allows God to work in you, to purify you, and to redirect the energy that once sought pleasure into a divine flow that fuels your purpose, your calling, and your destiny. This energy, once diverted into worldly desires, is now being transmuted into something eternal, something that will equip you for the divine mission ahead. The beauty of divine surrender is that it aligns you with God's perfect timing. While the world urges us to chase after immediate gratification, God's way is about waiting on His timing, trusting that when the time is right, everything will fall into place. When you surrender to God, you stop striving for what you think you need or want, and instead you trust that God will provide what is best for you in His perfect timing. This is a radical shift from the world's mindset, but it is the key to unlocking spiritual power and clarity in your life. One of the greatest misconceptions about surrender is that it means giving up control. The world tells us that control is power, that if we're not constantly striving, seeking, and demanding, we will lose out. But in God's kingdom, true power comes when we relinquish control and trust in His sovereignty. It's about acknowledging that we are not in charge, that our desires do not lead us to our best life, God does. By surrendering your desires and trusting God, you are positioning yourself to receive the fullness of what He has for you. This process of surrender may feel uncomfortable, especially in the beginning. You might feel like something is missing, like a part of your identity is being stripped away. The urges and desires that once defined you might seem distant, and you might even find yourself longing for them. But know this, you are not losing your identity. You are rediscovering it. You are shedding the layers that have kept you bound to the physical realm, and you are being reborn into a new spiritual identity, one that is fully aligned with God's purpose for you. This is not a loss. It is a rebirth. In the moments of discomfort or frustration, when your flesh is crying out for what it once desired, remember that this is the refining process. Just as gold must be heated to remove its impurities, so must you endure this period of discomfort to be purified and prepared for the divine calling ahead. It is in these moments that you learn to trust God's provision and timing. You learn that you don't need to chase after what the world offers, because God has something far better in store for you. Divine surrender also teaches you the power of patience. In a world that demands instant results, divine surrender teaches you to wait on God's perfect timing. It teaches you that there is beauty in the waiting in the process, and in trusting that God is working behind the scenes to bring about your divine purpose. This is not about passivity. It's about active waiting, choosing to trust God even when you don't understand the timing or the process. In this season of celibacy and spiritual surrender, you are learning to live by the Spirit, not by the flesh. You are allowing God to rewire your desires, redirect your energy, and focus your attention on what truly matters: your calling, your purpose, and your alignment with God's will. This is a season of deep spiritual growth, and although it may feel challenging at times, it is laying the foundation for a future of spiritual power, clarity, and purpose. The energy that once flowed toward the pursuit of physical intimacy is now being redirected toward your divine calling. Your passions, your desires, and your creative energy are no longer being scattered by worldly distractions. Instead, they are being harnessed and used by God to fuel your mission. As you surrender to God's plan, you will begin to notice a shift within you. You will find that the things that once consumed your thoughts and energy no longer have the same pull on you. Instead, you will be filled with a sense of peace, purpose, and clarity that surpasses anything the world could offer. This is the spiritual power of divine surrender. When you release control and trust God's plan, you open yourself up to a level of spiritual power that is unmatched. Your desires are no longer your master. They are in alignment with God's will. And in this alignment, you will find a deeper sense of fulfillment, peace, and purpose than you ever could have imagined. God is not taking something away from you. He is giving you something far more precious: spiritual clarity, divine purpose, and the power to fulfill your calling. This surrender is not the end of your desires. It is the transformation of them. It is the reordering of your heart and mind, so that your passions are aligned with God's will for your life. Chosen one, I encourage you to embrace this process of surrender fully. Let Let go of the things that once held you back and trust that God is leading you into something greater. Your body may be quiet, but your spirit is awakening. And when you fully surrender, you will step into a power and purpose that will carry you far beyond anything you ever dreamed. The divine power in surrender is not a force of weakness. It is the strength that comes from trusting God completely, from aligning your desires with His will, and from walking in the fullness of your spiritual purpose. You are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself at a level you never knew was possible. This is the beauty of divine surrender, chosen one.